Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking mango fragrances, and I don't mean the fruit mango, so these are not fragrances with a mango note per se, but Mango, the clothing brand, very popular here in Belgium, in Europe where I live. I think it's a Spanish brand. I don't know if it's equally popular in the United States or Canada, or just outside of Europe. I don't really know how many Mango stores there are, but I love the clothes and I loved their fragrances before, and now they have this whole new fragrance collection. So when one of my followers told me about that collection, I had no other choice but to order them and to review them for you guys. So we have 6 fragrances in this collection. They are all bottles of 80 ml of eau de parfum, and they retail for roughly 26 euros in Europe, or in Belgium at least, where I live. They retail for roughly 18 pounds in the UK. Now I did check on because there is an American and Canadian Mango website or web shop. So I did check to see the prices there, but unfortunately the fragrances are not there on those websites. So I don't really think they're available in the United States or Canada yet, or maybe they're never gonna be available. I have no idea. I didn't see any other fragrances either. So yeah, if you're from the States or Canada, I have no idea. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get these, which would actually be a huge shame because in general, I mean, there are some hits and misses amongst these fragrances for me personally, but in general, I do think Mango fragrances are really good. They're often dupes. And I was thinking to make this video in 2 parts. But you know, there are 6 fragrances. I thought the video would be a bit long if I did it in 1 part, but I'm still gonna do it in 1 part nevertheless. I think it's gonna be fine. So yeah, if you're curious about these fragrances, keep on watching. And I can already tell you that the next video that I will be making, that I will be uploading, I don't know when, maybe in a week or so, is about the new body sprays by Zara. They're actually body and hair sprays, very funky colored, summery bottles of body spray. So that video is coming up. If you want to watch it, feel free to subscribe to my channel so you can see when I upload it. But yeah, let's just get into the review of today. And the first one that I gave a try is called Satin Blossom. Satin Blossom has notes of pineapple, bergamot, mandarin, and apple. Then in the mid we have magnolia, jasmine, iris, and rose. And in the base we have amber, sandalwood, oak moss, and musk. So I gave this one a sniff and I was pleasantly surprised. I actually really like this one. I think it smells very nice. It's an immediate blast of fruitiness, but I don't think it's very candy-like, super sweet fruit. I think it's, well, it is sweet, but it's very juicy, floral, fruity, like a blast of a fruit cocktail on like a fruit punch in the middle of a table of a garden party, something like that. Very fresh and summery. So although I am terrible at distinguishing specific fruits in fragrances, it definitely just smells fruity. It's actually a very modern and young and sort of youthful, but not too youthful chypre. If you don't know what a chypre is, that is a type of perfume that usually has a citrus fruit in the top notes, which is often bergamot, then strong florals in the mid, which is often, but not always, but often rose. And then in the base, it's mostly something like oak moss or patchouli, which this one has all of those, so it is a chypre. Now, usually I don't really like chypres. When I think of chypres, I think of Miss Dior. I think La Vie est Belle is a chypre, I'm not sure. I think Coco Mademoiselle, I think, is a chypre. Like, I always think chypres smell a little bit outdated. It just sort of reminds me of very perfumey perfumes that the grown-ups wore when I was little. This one is not like that. This one is a lot more youthful, but not too youthful, but just modern, fresh, very fruity, floral, happy, sunny vibes. I think it's great. It's not super groundbreaking or something that you've never ever smelled before, but I don't really mind that personally. Sometimes a fragrance can just be an easy grab and go and just be nice. Now, I saw on Fragrantica that a lot of people smelled more florals than fruits. When I checked the, on Fragrantica, you can sort of select which notes you are getting more of and which notes that you maybe are not smelling in the fragrance. And then the accords on top of the screen change depending on what people are voting for. Now, a lot of people think this smells very floral, and it does, but for me, the fruitiness is more prominent than the florals, but that's probably because I have so many floral fragrances that this one is more fruity to me. But if you have more fruity fragrances, like actual fruity ones without a lot of florals, then you probably think this one smells floral. So to me, this is definitely a spring and summertime, very sunny fragrance. I think it's very feminine smelling. If I smell this, I think of a young woman. But I did spray this on my wrist, and I gave my husband a quick sniff of my wrist. I let him sniff my wrist because that sounded weird the way I just said it. But he said that he could also imagine a man wearing it. For me personally, it's very feminine, but yeah, that just shows that we can all smell something different in fragrances, but it's definitely a very sunny, bright, sparkling fragrance. The performance was decent. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but if you are spraying this in the morning, I don't know that you will still smell it in the evening. I doubt it. I think this is a fragrance that maybe you need to top off once in the afternoon, but they're pretty inexpensive for pretty big bottles, so I'm not mad about the performance at all. It's fine. It's really, it's okay. So yeah, a very, very easygoing, sunny chypre, very fruity, floral, and oh, by the way, my bottle came leaky. So it's actually the second time that I've ordered mango fragrances. The first time I only ordered one bottle, and that was leaky. And now I ordered 6 bottles, and one of them, this one, was leaky again. So that is something that Mango should work on. But yeah, apart from that, I like this fragrance. If I had to rate it, I think I would give it a 7 out of 10. It's pleasant, and I don't really see anything wrong with it. So that was Satin Blossom. The next one I gave a try is called Iris Cashmere, and this one has notes of iris, juniper, lily, ambergris, amber, and musk. And I was very excited to try this fragrance, but unfortunately it has one huge downside, because the smell, the scent in itself is fine, smells kind of nice. I will talk about it more in just a second. But what really is terrible about this fragrance is the performance. I can smell it on the atomizer now, and it smells super pleasant, but I tried it on my wrist, like I do with most fragrances, my wrist or my inner arm, and I just couldn't smell anything literally after maybe 10 minutes. I was like, did I not spray the fragrance? So I think maybe 30 minutes later or so, I sprayed it again. I was like, okay, maybe I just didn't spray it well, or I don't know what's going on. Sprayed some again on my wrist, and again, maybe this time it was 15 minutes, I don't remember, but it just, before I could actually really sit down and thoroughly evaluate the fragrance, it was already gone. So that's such a shame, because I can't smell it here on the atomizer, and it smells kind of nice. It smells very irisy, but it's not super, I don't know, there's more than just the iris. I think this is a perfectly unisex fragrance, which I'm not surprised about because iris is a note, in my opinion, that is like very often both in men fragrances as in women fragrances. It is a very unisex note, and this fragrance is very unisex as well. It's very fresh, clean. It has a softness, and it's just, you know, even though the performance is so horrible, if you're someone who kind of wants to smell fresh and clean at the office without offending anyone, so you're really scared of offending someone, you're like, I really need something close to the skin, then maybe if you overspray this one, then you might like it. Or if you're traveling by train or plane or something and you really don't want to offend anyone, then it smells perfect. I think it's such a shame. The scent is really, really good. I kind of want to try it again now. I think after I record this video, I'm gonna just spray a lot of it on me, and I will give you an update in the comments. Maybe if because I always just spray once, maybe twice on my wrist to evaluate a fragrance. But I'm just gonna drowse myself in this. I'm gonna give myself a shower of this, and then maybe I can smell it a little bit better. So check the comment section for an update on this one. But anyway, yeah, because it's so light, I can't really give it a high rating. Purely scent-wise, the scent, I think I'm gonna rate it a 7.5 because it does smell so nice. It smells very calm, like super, like imagine someone standing like in an open area in nature somewhere by the sea, but not a tropical sea, like very pure nature sea without a sandy beach, just rocks, and they're just standing there in the wind wearing this super light white blouse, and the wind is going through the blouse. I don't know, that's sort of the image that I'm getting. So that is what this smells like. The scent for me gets a 7.5, but because the performance is so crap, I'm gonna have to rate it, I'll give it a 5 out of 10, but again, check the comments to see the update, and that was Iris Cashmere. The next one I gave a try is called Rose Lace, and this one has top notes of rose, amber, bergamot, and then we have peony and cedar wood in the mid, and in the base we have vanilla and musk. Gave it a sniff, and it was different from what I was expecting. I was kind of expecting a little bit more of an airy, even though it has amber and vanilla, I kind of was expecting a little bit of an airy rose just by the look of the bottle. But yeah, I gave it a sniff, and instantly very recognizable. This is yet another dupe of Mancera's Roses Vanille or Montaale Intense Café. I think they smell very similar. We already have a very popular Zara dupe for that as well, which is called Rose Gourmand. I owned that fragrance. I did own it for quite a long time, but after trying it even though I liked the smell, after trying it about, I think I gave it a wear like 4 times or so, and I just felt like it wasn't me, and that my head likes the fragrance, but my heart didn't. Do you know that feeling? So I did end up decluttering my Rose Gourmand. Anyway, if you have Zara's Rose Gourmand or Mancera Roses Vanille or any of the other dupes or inspired by fragrances, you don't need this, because this is, again, yet another dupe for those. If you don't know what that smells like, it smells like, it is rose, but it doesn't really smell like a very floral rose, which I know sounds weird because rose is a flower, but because of those ambery vanilla notes mixed with the rose, it's kind of heavy, and it's a very sort of sexy, sultric, evening date night type of fragrance, which I do think smells nice. I mean, if somebody passes me and I smell this fragrance, I recognize it immediately as being Roses Vanille or Rose Gourmand because they smell so similar. I always think, oh, they're wearing that one and it smells nice. But to be honest, me personally, I'm just over the DNA because I had a Rose Gourmand and I tried it a few times and it wasn't really working for me. That doesn't make it a bad fragrance. I'm just a little bit over it. That's just it. So for me, it's a pass. I'm not gonna keep this one, obviously. If I decluttered my previous dupe of Roses Vanille, why would I keep this one? But if you don't know the DNA, give it a try. I don't think it's blind buy safe. I mean, technically, there's no blind buy safe fragrance, but if you were to blind buy something and you don't really know what type of fragrances are your thing, then Iris Cashmere and Satin Blossom I think are a lot safer to blind buy than Rose Lace, because it's so... A lot of people love this DNA, but I think there's also... It can be offensive. Like, this is not an office scent. I don't even think it's a daytime fragrance, to be honest. This is really nighttime for me. So yeah, does it smell nice? Yes. Am I going to keep my bottle? No. Am I over this DNA? Yes. So rating it is a little bit hard. I mean, purely for me, I'm gonna rate it a 5 out of 10 because it smells nice, but I just don't need it at all. But objectively, I would rate it... I think I'm gonna give it a 7.5 objectively. If you don't know this DNA or you're not over this DNA like I am, then it really is a nice fragrance. I thought it was a good performer, lasts a long time, projects very decently, so no complaints in that department. It is unisex in my opinion. I still think this smells better on a woman than a man. That's just my personal opinion, but I think the DNA is, I mean, there are a lot of men who can definitely pull this off, but I'm just not sure if there was a need for yet another dupe. So yeah, let me know in the comments, are you over this DNA or is this still pretty new to you and do you still love it, or do you still have to try it? I would love to hear, but yeah, that was Rose Lace. The next one I gave a try is Linen Vanilla. And this one has top notes of lavender and bergamot, mid notes of chocolate and white flowers, and in the base we have vanilla and sandalwood. By the way, if you're still watching and you're enjoying the video or it's somewhat helpful for you, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I am actively trying to grow my channel, so any thumbs up on this video would be highly appreciated as well. And I usually make Zara fragrance review videos, so that is mostly my thing, but yeah, today we're doing mango. I also have an H&M fragrance review video on my channel. Feel free to check that one out. But yeah, let's just continue with Linen Vanilla. So someone told me before I ordered these that it was a subscriber or a viewer of one of my videos, and they told me that supposedly this one is a dupe for Burberry Goddess. So I was curious, and I opened the box, gave it a spray, and I can tell you that absolutely yes, it's a dupe for Burberry Goddess. The OG, not the Intense. Is it 100% the same? No. And the thing is, I remember when Burberry Goddess came out and it was super, super popular. I think has it been 2 years now? Something like that, a year and a half, 2 years. Very popular fragrance. A lot of people loved it or still love it. For me, I thought it was nice, but it was also sort of lacking something. I thought it felt a little bit flat for me. Then I tried Burberry Goddess Intense, which I much preferred over the original. But Linen Vanilla, even though it smells pretty similar to OG Burberry Goddess, I actually prefer this one. And I don't know why exactly that is. Maybe it's because it has a little bit of that floralness in it. If you know me or my channel, you know that I love my white florals. I'm a white floral gal. And I don't know, or I don't think Burberry Goddess has white florals. I'm just gonna check. Okay, it doesn't, but I just noticed that Burberry Goddess has a ginger note, and I think it might be that sort of bothers me in Burberry Goddess, because I've always liked it, but there was just something about it that didn't really work for me. This one does not have the ginger note. Like I said, it has a white flower or white florals, white flowers note. It's not a white floral fragrance at all, so don't be too focused on that, but it feels a little bit more, I don't know, it's just more my thing. You also get a little bit of the chocolate. I think this one is just a little bit lighter, and it's just more interesting to me than OG Burberry Goddess. So yes, it's definitely close enough to be called a dupe. If you have original Burberry Goddess, you don't need this one. I think there's a really well-known dupe. Don't really remember the name. Something with a lot of A's. It's an Arab fragrance. Very, very popular. Never tried that one, but everybody says that it's a spot-on dupe for Burberry Goddess. This one is, like I said, I think it's a dupe, yes, but it's a little different. And for me personally, I really prefer this one. This bottle is staying in my collection. Also, the performance was very good. I thought I could smell myself for a really long time. Is it like beast? No, but I don't need... Honestly, I've realized that stronger fragrances aren't necessarily better for me, because sometimes you want to switch your fragrance in the second part of the day. So you wear something fresh and easygoing in the first, like, up until the afternoon, let's say, and then in the evening you want to wear something different. So I don't really like super beast mode fragrances. Sometimes they really bother me after a while. This one just performs like a decent eau de parfum. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm very happy with the performance, and I'm happy with this fragrance in general. Also, this reminded me a little bit of MFK's Apom, but that could just be the bottle. Because that one, I believe, also has sort of a lavendery, vanilla type of scent. I remember giving that one a sniff, but I thought it smelled a little bit, smelled super nice, but it smelled very classic. So I did imagine an older woman wearing that one. Anyway, yeah, Linen Vanilla is a win for me. I'm gonna rate this one, I'm just gonna give it a 9 out of 10. So, yeah, love it. Let me know in the comments what you think. And that was Linen Vanilla. The next one I gave a try is called Suede Cream. And this one has notes of mango, bergamot, and magnolia. Then in the mid we have saffron, jasmine, and patchouli. And in the base we have vanilla, benzoin, and vetiver. So I saw the notes and I was like, I thought it was a weird note combination. You have some magnolia, then mango, but also patchouli and saffron, and then some vanilla, but also vetiver. I mean, I thought it was kind of a weird combination of notes. So I didn't really know what to expect with this one, but the name sounded interesting, Suede Cream. I didn't really have super high hopes because of the notes. There are a few notes in here that are tricky for me, such as patchouli, benzoin, vetiver, saffron sometimes. So yeah, I was very curious, gave it a spray, and I can instantly tell you that this is a massive pass for me. However, that doesn't mean that it's a bad fragrance. I am trying to objectively evaluate this fragrance, and I don't think it's a bad fragrance at all. It's just not up my alley whatsoever, so I would never wear something like this. It actually smells very recognizable. I think this is a dupe or dupe-ish or very similar to a very well-known popular fragrance. Now the problem is, because this type of fragrance is not for me at all, I mean, it smells very heavy. I think it smells very ambery. It's that benzoin with the patchouli. That's a combination that's always very tricky to me. It smells like this college professor in his study with like a million books around him, and he always wears like these thick glasses, and he's like super intelligent but also very asocial towards other people. Do you know the type? Like that is sort of the smell that I'm getting, but I often have that image when I smell benzoin, very dark ambery fragrances. Then I always imagine that type of person. So because that DNA is not my thing, I don't really know what it smells like. So I'm gonna need some help. Let me know in the comments if you do know, because I do know that I've already smelled this type of DNA or something very similar in my life before, and I probably had the same reaction, like, oof, no, not for me. That's probably why I didn't remember which fragrance it was, but I'm pretty sure it's a dupe for something. I don't find this vanilla at all. It probably has vanilla. I mean, it's listed in the notes, and if you go on Fragrantica, you will see that the Accords vanilla is on top. So a lot of people seem to smell the vanilla. I don't. Let me tell you what I am smelling and what I'm not smelling. So for me, this is definitely benzoin, ambery, I'm just very sensitive to that note, so that's probably why it stands out and punches me in the face that much. But that's the first thing that I smell. Definitely smell patchouli. I know I'm repeating myself if you watch my channel, but I think patchouli can really elevate a fragrance, but it's very easily too much. And once it's too much patchouli in a fragrance, especially combined with certain other notes like rose and amber, for instance, then it's just too much for me. So I'm really getting a lot of patchouli. I'm getting the vetiver, saffron. So pretty much the notes that I don't like are really standing out to me. I'm not really getting mango, bergamot, magnolia, and jasmine, and vanilla. Probably because I do like those notes, but they're just being like, the other notes that I don't like are probably like overwhelming the notes that I do like. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I hope you understand what I mean. So for me, even though it's called suede, it doesn't really smell like suede, but it's very, yeah, just a classic professor's office that hasn't been vacuumed in a long time. People think he's a little bit crazy. You know, it's like, it's that weird guy, but he's actually super, super intelligent, and he's working on something, and he has been working on it for the last 30 years, and he's about to get a breakthrough and he can't let it go. That's sort of the image I'm getting of the person wearing this. It's definitely unisex though. I am talking about a man now in my weird image, but I do think it's perfectly unisex. I actually don't think it's, even though I don't like this, I don't think it's a bad fragrance. I know that sounds weird, but just objectively, if you do like ambery, like dark ambery unisex fragrances, I do think you might want to check this one out. But again, if you're not sure whether you like fragrances like that, it's definitely not blind buy safe. I think the projection was strong, but again, that might be because I'm so sensitive to these notes. I did end up washing it off just because it bothered me. Yeah, I know that's not very objective. I just can't ignore the fact that it's not for me. However, Mango did not do a bad job with this fragrance, so I will rate it a 6, even though personally for me it's like a 2. It's not a badly made fragrance, so I'm gonna give it a 6. Let me know in the comments what you think, and that was Suede Cream. And then the last fragrance I tried is called Oud Organza, and this one has notes of pink pepper, oud, rose, geranium, cypriol, benzoin, musk, and coumarin. So looking at these notes, again, like the previous one, I was just like, okay, it has some notes that could be nice, and it has some notes that I know I don't like. But looking at these notes of Oud Organza, it was just like, ooh, I'm absolutely going to hate this, because this looks like a collection of notes that I cannot stand. Okay, so first of all, I know oud is super popular. Personally, I hate oud. I don't like oud fragrances, never have, never will, especially when they're combined with rose, which they often are. So an oud rose combination for me is just like, no, like it's massive pass. Then I also don't like geranium, benzoin again. Pink pepper can be nice, but it's not always nice for me. So pretty much the only ones that I kind of like are musk. Coumarin is okay, and cypriol, I'm not even sure what that smells like. So, and then pink pepper can be fine, so that's not a hate or anything, but yeah. That oud, rose, and benzoin combination and geranium just made me like, I was almost scared to try this one. But I did, so I gave it a spray. And let me just tell you that, like, okay, so I was right. This is not for me again, like the previous one, but I thought it was slightly less offensive for me than Suede Cream. I could stand this one a little bit more than this one, although that could just be because I had certain expectations. Like I knew I was gonna hate this, so then in the end, it's actually not that bad. When I didn't really know what I was gonna think about this one, and then you know, I disliked it, so I don't know if you know what I mean, but depending on your expectations, your opinion can be different. Anyway, I actually think this one smells more suede-y than Suede Cream. I think Suede Cream smells very ambery, and this one smells like a soft sueded oud. Even though there's no suede in the notes, there's just a softness to it that I can appreciate. I have smelled other rose to oud fragrances. I mean, like I said, it's a combination that's very popular, both for men and women. I think maybe even more men like oud and rose fragrances. It's very Middle Eastern smelling. I think this one is unisex. Again, just when I smell this, I just smell someone, I smell someone a little bit older, very like a business person, a businessman or a businesswoman, very international. Like I smell a businessman or woman at the, like some sort of super international airport on their way to a business trip, something like that. So I checked on Fragrantica to see what other people were saying about this fragrance, and that's where I noticed that this is actually a dupe for MFK Oud Satin Mood. Now I did smell that one once a very long time ago. Again, obviously I just went like, oof, not for me, put it away. So that's why I don't really know, like know that fragrance very well. So is it a spot on dupe for that one? I'm not the right person to tell you that, but on Fragrantica, a lot of people, well, at least 7 people upvoted, wow. 7 people upvoted Oud Satin Mood in the This Perfume Reminds Me Of section. So I'm assuming that's a pretty decent dupe for that. Let me know in the comments if you agree, because I don't really know Oud Satin Mood well enough, but I kind of get it. Again, not for me, massive pass, would never wear this. But if I had to choose between Suede Cream and Oud Organza, I think I would actually prefer the Oud Organza. If you don't know if you like oud or oud to rose fragrances, don't blind buy. I mean, you should never blind buy, but again, some fragrances are a little bit safer than others. This one is not. And again, the performance, I don't really know what the performance was because I did wash it off. I'm sorry, I'm also pregnant, by the way, if you don't know me or my channel. I'm currently 8 months pregnant. I'm using the pregnancy card for this because smells are just, I'm extra sensitive. I'm extra sensitive to getting nauseated. The nausea's fine, but it's, you know, I still have some triggers. And yeah, I didn't like it, so I did scrub it off. But according to Fragrantica users, it's a pretty long-lasting and well-projecting fragrance, which I'm not surprised about because it is rose, oud, benzoin, those typical notes that just project a lot better than other notes. So yeah, well done Mango. I do think they've made a very nice fragrance collection. So we have at least 3 dupes. We have Linen Vanilla, which is a dupe or dupe-ish. Again, not 100% the same, but close enough to be called a dupe for Burberry Goddess, the OG. Then we have Rose Lace, which is a dupe for Mancera's Roses Vanille. And then Oud Organza is a dupe for MFK's Oud Satin Mood. Now, Suede Cream, again, I think it's a dupe for something. I have smelled that DNA before. Let me know in the comments if you know what it's a dupe for. And then Iris, like Satin Blossom, I'm not sure. Even though it's not a super unique DNA, I don't really think it's a dupe for anything. And then Iris Cashmere can be similar to other fragrances. I mean, it did remind me a little bit of Prada Infusion d'Iris, which is also a very light, simple iris fragrance. But to really call it a dupe, not really sure about that. It's just sort of similar. So yeah, these were my thoughts on these fragrances. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Have you tried them? Are you going to try them? Do you prefer the OG Burberry Goddess, or do you also, like me, slightly prefer Linen Vanilla, or actually definitely prefer, because I definitely prefer that one? Would love to hear. And again, if this video was helpful or enjoyable in any way, you would really help me out by giving it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe if you want to watch more videos. The Zara body sprays are coming up, and I think I saw this morning that they released 2 new fragrances. I'm actually due in about 4.5 weeks, so I don't know if I'm still gonna have the time to review the latest new fragrance releases by Zara. So I'm not gonna make any promises, but if I can, I will. So yeah, if you subscribe, you will see those videos come up. And thanks again for watching, and I will see you for the next one. Bye!